Okay, good morning. I'm Vincent Meza. This is Listings to Leads, and today we're talking about Facebook and Google Ads. And I'll tell you this, Facebook is the number 3 website in the country. Google is the number 1 website in the country. And there's a big difference of those two platforms. And so we'll dive into it and look at it. And we're going to look at ways to get buyer leads and seller leads, and even do some kind of custom work today. All right. So before we dive into it, I want to just give you a quick highlight of the platform itself. It's designed for realtors. It's designed to market your listings. It's designed to help you with social media. It's also designed to help you get more listings. And these are the 3 things that I think realtors need all 3 of, or they need one of those things. So inside the platform, there's just it's a whole powerhouse of what's going on. And what today we're going to, with running ads on both Facebook and Google, we can get both buyer and seller leads, right? It's great for your branding, but you can also get actionable leads. So before we go into that, I want to let everybody know, if you're new to us, this is our YouTube channel. And this call that we're doing right here, right now, is being recorded. And by the end of the day, if not tomorrow, it will be on this page. So I'm going to send this to everybody if I can. If I can find my way around this new platform. Let's see here. And I'll tell you this, if you're new to us, this should be blinking on your GoToMeeting panel. I would open this, grab this link, and save it. And I'm going to tell you what's here and why I think you should. We actually just had a question in the mastermind group of some gentleman who's asking, how do I create a custom landing page for a new construction development? And fortunately, Scott just did a quick video right here. It's not under 5 minutes long, of how to create and customize any kind of landing page for buyers or for sellers. Once you've created these pages, you can certainly use flyer, or you can use a print flyer or any flyer. Or, in related to this call, you could run ads on Facebook and Google to get people there. I do 4 classes. I do Get Started, which I recommend, if you haven't seen that class, you take that class. It talks about how to set up your account and some of the things you can do with the platform. Then I do Facebook and Google Ads, which I did 2 weeks ago. And so we're looping back over. I also do a class for lenders, and I do this one right here, Top Tools for More Listings. And you'll see here, I'm saying get seller leads with phone numbers underneath it. That's a little bit of the focus of that class. If there's one thing that we've learned from doing this for 14 years, is that realtors don't really like to watch 1-hour videos, right? It's great that you're joining me here today, but watching it, it's like, there's so many fun things, football and basketball and all, kids, everything to distract you. But I can tell you this, you will get an ROI on the time that you invest in learning this platform. And we have a lot of people who've grown their business substantially, moving from state to state, and within a couple of years, starting their own office, from agents going from a rookie to the top agents of a 600 agent shop. There's just a lot under Listings to Lead, but it doesn't do much if you don't use the tools. And if you want to learn how to use the tools, find our YouTube channel and kind of get familiar with it. We have another great resource too. I want to start the call here, which is our mastermind group, right? This is a private group on Facebook. If you are a client, use the support page to get in here, and just ask them to get you in the mastermind group, right? And so I wanted to start here because this is always a good question. Do you guys know what a crap lead is? Because there's a client right here saying, hey, I used to get a lot of legit people, and now I'm just getting crap leads. And fortunately, there's a bunch of our clients who are saying, you know what, we're converting leads all the time. We're getting leads and we're converting leads. And I want to just bring that up right up front. I actually had a call this morning with a lady who's joining our platform. And she was telling me, yeah, I'm not able to convert the leads. It's not our leads, but I want to share with you something that you have not maybe thought of when you're thinking of converting a lead. First of all, there's a bit of a fallacy in the real estate mindset. And that is that if you get a lead online, they're going to be ready to talk to you and meet you within the next 48 hours. That is nowhere near reality. That happens every once in a while, but that is not really the reality, right? What the reality is, thing that's changed is most of us have smartphones. A lot of us in the country don't even have landlines anymore. And I don't know if you've heard, but there are so many scams on phones. Even our partner here, he got scammed on her social security number on a phone call. They just scared her and she gave up. There's all kinds of wacky calls, and you can get your car warranties renewed and all this nonsense. So when you're calling somebody who doesn't know you, they might likely not even answer the phone, because if they don't know that number, they're not answering that call, right? That's just the reality. I have a smartphone, and I tell you, half the time I get calls from realtors, it says spam. This is likely a spam call. Maybe that realtor is making a lot of calls and Google has decided that they are a spammer. But then I let that go to voicemail. I listen to voicemail and I call them back. That's the reality of the world that we live in today. When people are seeing your ads on places like Facebook, you're putting something in front of them that's engaging them. Maybe it's an open house, right? Maybe you're offering a free home value. Who knows? There's all kinds of ads you can run. And what we're looking at here is Facebook. Okay. And people in the United States, what the heck is that? They scroll through here. The American adults scroll through here 40 minutes every day on Facebook. It's the number 3 website in the country. So when we're talking about running ads, you see my friend here, Gustavo, over at the NASDAQ, the ad shows up right there. If it's relevant, people will click on it and they might give you their contact information, right? And it's not likely that they want a phone call right now from somebody that they don't know. And so when it comes to conversion, you want to make sure you have a drip campaign turned on. If you're connecting your CRM in our platform and you've got your own drip campaign running, that's great. Text these people, email them with their drip campaigns, set them up find out like, hey, would you like to see all the new homes in this price range or in this city? Do those conversions. Just don't plan to do those conversions on those messages on the phone, because if they don't know you, they just aren't likely even going to trust you. They have no concept of who you are. So if through text and email, you are offering value and offering service to help them, because you're a busy professional too, but you want to make sure they don't slip through the cracks, at some point they're going to respond. Okay. And that message that we were looking at about crap leads, this guy saying, yeah, we close a deal every month with the leads that we're getting from Facebook. And he said, we're running ads all the time and we're closing a deal every month. And obviously you don't need a multi-$1,000 budget to get a good number of leads from Facebook. But if you're closing a deal every month, you're probably making thousands of dollars every month. Okay. That's how I think you got to look at it. We look at Facebook and we know that our ads are going to show up here. Great. Right. But let me explain before we dive into how to do things, that the number 1 website in the United States is Google. And this is important because when people have a question, they don't go to Facebook and ask. I know I have a couple of dorky friends that say, hey, what do you guys think? Whatever. But no, 86% of all people in the United States come here with their questions on the internet. Right. And a question that might be relevant to you is, how do I sell my house? Right. That's like the kind of question. Right. And you see right here, there's a sponsored ad by John Buys Houses. Here's Maple Home Buyers. Here's Realtor.com and WeBuyHouses.com. Right. How do you get on page 1 of the number 1 website in the country when people have a question that's related to your industry? You run an ad on Facebook. Right. That's what it's about. So when we go over here to our system, and I'm going to go to the ad section here. If you are a new client, I highly recommend, if you're watching this, and you can email me at Vincent Listings to Leads and ask me for my 5-minute setup video. It's a pretty fast and detailed way of turning on all the things, all the automation. But the reason why I'm telling you that is, when you come here the first time on the ads page, Your page will not look like this. Okay. It'll have a couple of big blue buttons and it will say, let me see if I can stop all these little alerts. I forgot to turn that on. When you come here, it's going to say connect to Facebook and click that. And it's going to take you to a Facebook page with your name. It's going to say, hey, Joe, is this you? And it says, yes, it's me. And you click that. And the second page will show all of your real estate business pages. And you check the ones that you want to do. Okay. That's how it works. And then boom, you can now run ads. And when you run ads on Facebook, it's going to reference your business page on Facebook, your real estate business page, and it's going to charge your credit card on your Facebook account. So if you don't have your credit card in there, if you don't have a business page, you have a little homework to do, right? Similarly, if you connect to Google, this software doesn't come with our platform. So if you click here, you see this button and you say, I want to run a landing page ad. If you are not, there's a subscription. This is an add-on. It's $30 a month to use the Google software. We're going to come back and show you how and why you use Google, but we're going to concentrate on Facebook first because that kind of comes with the platform and you can do a whole heck of a lot with Facebook. If you want buyer leads, I would tell you Facebook is the number one place to get buyer leads. If you want seller leads, you can get a lot of seller leads from Facebook and they're much cheaper than Google. The quality is a little bit different, but there are some ways to make the quality of a Facebook lead for sellers higher quality. Okay. So we'll try to tackle all those things today. I want to just say this before we dive in. If you have questions, put them in the question chat panel there and I'll answer them whenever I take a breath. All right. So when we have Facebook, there are three kinds of ads you want to focus on: a listing ad, a landing page ad, and a PDF guide ad. I don't recommend you do this custom ad unless you really know Facebook really well. And there's a lot of people that know Facebook. I can see it in our mastermind group and they're off doing their own sort of things. And then they come back and ask us why this isn't working. And that's why I don't recommend you mess with anything custom. Our goal here at Listings to Leads is to get as many leads with name, email, and phone number as we can for you. So we create the tools, we make it super simple. You have to use the tools. If you stick with these three items up here, the first three options, I'm going to go to listing ad and I'm going to put just listed here, property just listed, leave it on lead ads right here. This means that the lead is pre-populated with name, email, and phone number from the Facebook profile. Now, I don't know if you've ever been locked out. Sometimes Facebook kicks you out and says, hey, you got to re-log in. But if you logged out and you can't get back in, you know how you get back in? You have to have your phone number and email in there. So these tend to be very accurate. And actually in the mastermind group where that discussion of crap leads is coming in, the guy was saying, yeah, like our leads are 90% accurate, right? So these are people who are responding, looking at ads. And when they click on the ad, this little window pops up and it says, would you like this information? Then the answer is yes, submit. And their name, phone number, and email is already populated there. So they're not really typing anything in. I know you probably experienced that if you put, I don't know, a web form out on the internet and you ask people to register, you might get Mickey Mouse at Disney.com, right? That's not happening here because it's actually being swept in automatically from their profile. So that's a big reason why you want to use our default settings and lead forms on this. So to create an ad on a home that is for sale, and that's what this one is here. So it's just listed, publish, right? Boom. It's that easy. If you go run this ad on Facebook, guarantee you it is not this easy. And the likelihood of you making a mistake is actually fairly high. And it really is challenging for a lot of agents because there's, well, one, you have to know all the things you got to check. And two, all the things you got to check is they're probably going to change within 30 days. So if you figured it out this month, next month, it's probably going to be slightly different inside Facebook. For us, we have their software embedded here and we know what you are trying to achieve by the tools and the buttons that you're clicking on. So we've checked all the buttons that you needed to check in order to make this a good ad. So if we need buyer leads, choose your property, create ad, and click publish. There's a couple things you might want to do though, right? You'll notice that it gives you over on the right some basic text. It's not writing everything because we want to give people the reason to click to get more information so we can capture their lead, right? So we're not putting everything there. But you might be in a great school district. You might have a new granite kitchen, or maybe you got a 5-car garage that's super awesome, whatever. You could put that right there if you feel like people need to see that. Another thing that you should be aware of, and this is for agents that they have maybe a second home market, or maybe they're in like a low tax state kind of thing. People are always moving from the north, like places like Chicago, where they have freezing cold winters. And if people have homes for sale down in the south, in the desert areas or in Florida, they will market just like this, just like I'm doing right now. So this ad will show up in any city or state you want to focus on. And that's an awesome way of using Facebook to let people know in other areas, like, hey, I got a home for sale. Check it out. When it says lifetime budget, it means that's the max you're going to spend, $35. It's a 7-day ad. Okay. Now, there is a cost per lead. These kind of ads are called pay-per-click advertising. Okay. PPC. So every time somebody clicks on the ad, you pay. And Facebook sets the price. So if you're writing anything down, you might want to write this down. A buyer lead costs around $3.25 each in the United States, sometimes higher, sometimes lower, right? So if they're $3.25 each and I've got $35 I'm about to spend, I'm probably going to get like 11 leads, right? Something like that, 10 or 11 leads. So that's how that works, right? If you want more leads, you can change that budget, right? You can say, hey, I want to put $50 or $100, right? And you might want to do that if you've got like a really unique marquee home, you really want to build your brand. There are other times you're handling listings and they're in the average zone, right? Average price point, right? Kind of neighborhood. And that's great. But then you might get like a super awesome home, right? You might want to expand the radius and add more money so that you're letting people know you're working with a super awesome home. Another thing you can do here, and I highly recommend this if you are running ads on Facebook for your listings, is you click on this blue button that says change image/video. And we've added some functionality here. So we can say, I want to choose that property or that picture. I want to choose this one and maybe this, right? You get it. You can choose up to 5 images. And that way, now the ad isn't one static image. People can actually look at more of the home, 5 other views, right? This is called a carousel ad. And people, if they're interested in homes, this is going to make that ad more effective for you. If you want to change the order, you can drag and drop and that'll move these photos here as well. Okay. If you need buyer leads, I highly recommend this is the way you do it. Okay. So let's talk about getting seller leads. And any questions on what we just talked about, how to get buyer leads. And I'm going to repeat myself because I know people are coming in late. If you are just looking for buyer leads, I really recommend doing what I just showed you right there on Facebook. I don't recommend using Google too much for buyer leads because it's so effective and cheap on Facebook that you just concentrate there. Okay. I'm going to go back to the ads tab and we're going to talk about how to get listing leads. And there are multiple ways of getting listing leads. Okay. So here we can say, we can run a listing ad on a property that is either pending or under contract or sold. We could run a landing page ad, and ideally you have a what is your home worth page for every one of your towns that you're trying to build your business in. And then PDF guide ads. Okay. And PDF guides, we'll look at them in a few minutes. They're all branded to you. And there are 80 of these guides, 40 for buyers and 40 for sellers. So you can decide what you're after. Since we already ran that out, we know how to get buyers. I would recommend that you do that. There are PDF guides for buyers. The leads are just more expensive. So let's do a listing ad and let's do a property that is sold. Okay. We're leaving it on lead ads because we want pre-populated name, email, and phone number. Oh, I really recommend that you always run an ad as a lead ad, because if you get lead name, email, and phone number, you can actually act on those and you have a higher likelihood of converting. So here, this property here says it's sold. It's sold in Folsom, and that's going to affect your home value. Okay. So that makes sense. Okay. You can text there and get a home value, or you can just respond to this ad and we'll get you a home value. And you're going to get name, email, and phone number from that ad. So you remember when I said a buyer lead cost around $3 or $3.25 each? A seller lead from a sold ad on average is $7 each. Okay. So we actually changed the budget to $50. So if you're looking for listing leads, this is one of the things I would start with, doing sold ads, right? A lot of agents know that they should do this. They just don't do it, right? Now, I don't know if it's the cost. I don't know if they're just so incredibly busy, but if you want more listings, I would tell you this is one of the simplest ways of getting listing leads. Okay. And if it's a $7 per, lead, you're going to get about 7 leads here, 7-day ad. And that's it. You just publish and boom, that's going to work. You could, however, I will tell you this, you might have some data points about this home, like that we're not showing here, like sold 10K above asking, or maybe you got multiple offers, right? And that you still have 6 buyers still looking, right? Or maybe you sold it in a couple of weeks, right? These are all kind of important factors because you sell homes professionally, but the average homeowner does not do this all the time. And it's not really an exciting venture that they want to get into. If you can do it fast for top dollar, they're probably going to respond to your ad a little bit faster, right? So you can make those adjustments if you want, and you can publish. Very simple how you can get seller leads from Facebook. There's another way to get seller leads from Facebook, also just as simple, and that is running an ad on a property that is either pending or under contract or act contingent, right? And we leave it on lead ads because we're really into the name, email, and phone numbers. And here's the thing. So this ad, the text over here on the right is it's almost identical to the sold ad. And I'm always telling you, like buyer leads cost about $3.25 and sold ads, these leads cost around $7 each. Not many people run these ads, meaning not many realtors run ads on properties that are pending and under contract. And why that is important is you don't have much competition. And when there isn't much competition for an ad, you pay less per lead. So you see how I have $50 budget. We have a $50 budget because we're trying to get listing leads and they're typically more expensive. But when you're running an ad on a home that is pending or under contract, these leads often cost $2.50, even less sometimes. So you can develop a database of people who want their home values for $2.50, which is cheaper than a buyer lead. A lot of agents don't know that, right? Only the ones that kind of hear this call realize that. And then they get all these leads and they come in the mastermind group and say, this is awesome. So again, you could customize this text if you feel like there's something compelling, but just as it's written is going to work, right? And that kind of works. So that's another way of getting listing leads. Now let's go back to the ad section and let's go look at those PDF guides. So I don't even know, does anybody here use the PDF guides in their marketing? If you can throw me a yes or no in the chat panel, I would just really to know, like you actually are looking at these at all. Let's see, I must deny properly. So the PDF guides, a lot of our clients, when we're talking about converting leads, when you're converting seller leads, you're not typically getting hundreds of leads a month, right? Except for the clients who are running pending ads and stuff like that, they get a lot of leads, right? But from some of our tools, they'll get maybe a handful or a dozen leads every month, right? And so they take these PDF guides and they'll print them and they'll paperclip a business card and they'll put it in an envelope and just drop it off, just door knock and say, hey, I'm in the neighborhood. I know you are interested. So here is one of my 40 PDF guides. Do that every week. If you want to convert your listing leads, do that every week. Drop it off. because you're not collecting hundreds or thousands of seller leads. That's a great way of converting. So now I clicked on PDF guides. You'll notice that I can focus on buyers or I can focus on sellers. And here's one that's relevant for everybody. 5 dangers of overpricing. Okay, great. Let's click it. Lead ads, because we want the pre-populated name, email, and phone number. And the nice thing about these is that they're not really region or city specific. There's danger of overpricing, right? You want it, click on it, you can download it. So to target, all you need to do is type in your favorite area, right? And boom, publish. They can download it, assuming they give you their contact information, right? Now, these leads cost $10 each. So if you got a $50 ad, you're only getting 5 leads. And if we spent $50 on a pending ad, you would have 20 leads. And if you spent $50 on a just sold ad, you would get 7 leads. So you realize what you're doing. You're getting different volume of leads, but it's actually smart to run different kinds of ads because not only you're capturing leads, but thousands of people are seeing these ads and they're starting to recognize that you, the realtor, because your business page is sponsoring, that you are a resource. And that's really what you want to let your market know. You want them to know that you're a real estate professional. Mixing up your ads is smart. So very easy to do this. You don't even need to customize that text. You just type in the city you want. You could even type in multiple cities, right? Your money gets a little bit diluted, right? Because you're going in separate cities and you're only going to get 5 leads anyway. So you're just going to get a couple from here and there. So that's how you do it. So let's keep going down the Facebook train and let's talk about landing pages. So when we do a landing page, I'm going to do one here for Concord. And I'm going to type in my zip code here. We type in a zip code, click create ad. And there is a challenge. This is a kind of ad that a lot of agents like to run because they've seen home valuation landing pages. And because I typed in the zip code where I showed you, it's showing me 15 homes sold in January. And that was the high, right? That affects your home value. Click here to get your home value. These kind of home valuation landing pages have been around for almost 10 years. I think actually longer than that, right? Companies like Boomtown, they sell these landing pages for $250 a month to realtors. Prime Seller used to be out there selling them for $60 a month, and homevalueleads.com had those things. And I think it was like $50, $60 a month. Ours, you get unlimited landing pages, and you probably have a handful, if not a dozen farm markets that you want listings. You need to go to the landing page section over here and create a home valuation landing page. It's called Property Valuation Plus. If you need to know how to do that, ask support. They'll help. But let's focus here on Facebook. And while this is an important and sought after ad by realtors, it's one of the most frustrating ads for realtors. This is the one where realtors lose money all the time. And they don't know why, because they hear all these great things about Facebook and they come in here and typically they go super generic. They don't even I've got a page that's talking about Concord on the right-hand side. They will not even go that far. They'll just use our generic, what is your home worth landing page? It's not talking about an area. It's just boom, I'm just lobbing it out. And it doesn't work that well, right? It just doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't gets absolutely nothing. And that's frustrating, right? But let me explain to you why while I've built a landing page for Concord, still will not work. All right. And let's look at that. So Concord, California. Now that ad can work, but if you're in a densely populated area like I am, it might have some problems. I'm going to show you what the problem is. So right here, and where my mouse is circling, that's Concord, California. There's about 30,000 people there. And it's middle income kind of homes, not big mansions. But this map that we're looking at here is about a 15-mile radius around Concord. And You can't tighten up more than 15 miles, right? You can't just target. Had we been talking 5 years ago, I would have told you, you can type in the zip code in Concord and you can check a box that says only target homeowners on Facebook. These ads were incredibly powerful at that time. People were running illegal ads on Facebook, realtors and mortgage people, and all these great ways of targeting that realtors want to do. And all of a sudden HUD came into Facebook and fined them and slapped them and said, you cannot do that. You cannot target people like that. So it's not as powerful in targeting anymore. Fortunately, we have a workaround. Okay. And we can make Facebook very powerful, but you do have to jump through a couple of hoops to make it happen. You see this button here that says create audience. That is a custom audience that lives in your Facebook account. So you want to call it maybe Concord homeowners. You want to buy a list from maybe a company like listsource.com or remind.com or maybe Redx. Maybe your title partner can pull that together for you, right? You want a list of people. And let me be very clear. This says use this format. You must use this format. You will notice there are only 4 columns of data. They have certain headings. Your heading needs to look like that, and you need to only have those 4 columns of data. You put more than that or less than that, it's just not going to work. Now, this list will be imported into your private Facebook account. Okay. So even if you stop working with us, you want to use that. You want to create those audiences for your key farm markets, right? That way, when you click on, you create a landing page for that particular area. And I'm going to go back to Concord again, and I'm going to just click create ad. And when you do this, you don't want to use their targeting here, right? You want to go down here where it says retarget custom audience, and then you type in the name of your audience. Okay. Now I don't have one for Concord, but you can see how I've highlighted it here. That's a seller audience. And that's how you make Facebook home valuation ads work. And here's the thing. This ad I mentioned, these kinds of ads have been around for more than 10 years, and Facebook knows that realtors love them. And so Facebook charges the most for these leads. These leads can often cost between $12 and $15. So if they're $15, you're going to get 3 leads from a $50 ad. Okay. And you just need to understand there is a cost per lead, but when you're running home valuation ads like this, you want to go the extra step. If you really want to make that ad effective, you need to get that custom audience. You need to go into the ad section and create the custom audience. And then that will live in your Facebook account. And whenever you're trying to like get the word out in those farm markets, use those. Okay. So those are the kinds of ads that we can run. And I will tell you this, there are a lot of landing pages. You can create all kinds of landing. And when we go up here to the landing page section, you can create iBuyers. The Property Valuation Plus is instant home value. Nearby sold homes landing page, right? So even empty nesters and growing family landing pages, you get unlimited landing pages, and then you can run ads and drive people to them. That's really the important part. So that's what's going on with Facebook. Okay. But let's talk about the number one website in the country, which is Google. And I only recommend doing this if you are an experienced agent who is very comfortable having listings, like not one drops into your lap a couple times a year, but like this is a serious part of your business. If it is a serious part of your business, you already know about Google, and you probably already know that realtors blow thousands of dollars a month by paying people to run ads on Google, and they have no idea what the heck is going on. So let me show you an easy and cost-effective way of competing on Google. First, you got to sign up for our stuff, and you want to focus on landing page ads and PDF guide ads. I'm going to do the Concord one since we were looking there, right? So we ran an ad on Facebook and we did it on Concord. We had a custom audience, so that was good. But I'm going to do the same landing page for Concord, and I'm going to click create. And all I have to do to make this work is type in the name of the city. And over here, these little buttons are showing you a preview. This is what it looks like. So when I do this search here, how do I sell my home? You see how these ads look right here? That's corresponding to that look right there on the right. To make this ad work, you got to type in the name of the town you're targeting. And ideally, you have a matching landing page that's pointing to it, and click publish. And that's it. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever run an ad on Google, but let me tell you, it is hideous. It is not this easy at all. And I think that's why a lot of agents pay thousands of dollars for ads to be run by professionals, because it's just ridiculous. If you can figure out Facebook, like to go into Facebook and run ads there, you're in the top quartile of realtors, because not everybody can do that. But it's not even top 5% of agents can run an ad on Google, because it's just a horrible interface. Fortunately for you, you know us, and you can use our software, and we make it as easy as choose the tool you want and type in the name of the city. Just for knowledge, just for your education, let's click on advanced options and talk about what's really going on. If you go to Google and do this alone, you could, for instance, create a landing page, right? You could create a landing page in our system like this. This is my Conquered Instant Home Value landing page. You could go do it yourself in Google and save the $30 a month that you would use with us. And what you would have to do is you would have to have all the keywords that are relevant to the search that people might type, like in this case, my keywords or how do I sell my home. You would need those keywords built in where Google is telling you to put them. So we have all kinds of keywords, right? You would also, you see this blue section here, the kind of the highlight here in the ad. These are called headlines. You have to write multiple headlines, and Google will rotate them until it lands on the one that worked the best. Okay. And then you see this gray area here, this text here, this is called the description. You have to write 3 different descriptions. So hopefully you know how to write all that. Most agents don't, and that's why they're blowing thousands of dollars a month on Google. Here, we do it all automatically. All right. You choose the tool. You say, hey, I want to run a PDF guide, or I want to run a landing page ad. Boom. It's that easy. Now, I do want to point this out. I don't know if you noticed, it's a $50 a day budget. Okay. When we were looking at Facebook, it was $50 a week or $35 a week. Why is it $50 a day? It's a 7-day ad. So that means you have an exposure of spending $350. Google, as I mentioned, is the number 1 website in the country. And because of that, their leads cost more, right? They convert faster also than Facebook ads typically. If you do the custom audience thing on Facebook, you might actually have really high conversion from that as well. But on Google, people are literally going to Google because they need an answer to a question, like how do I sell my home, or what are taxes on my home when I sell, or, what's a commission, whatever. All those questions are all built into the keywords down there. So when you are running an ad and you are answering their question, you're in good shape, right? That's going to be an easier lead to convert. But there is a cost, just like Facebook. It's pay-per-click advertising. And if you are in Dallas, Texas, and you run an ad that looks like this, and it says Dallas, and you're targeting Dallas, that lead will cost you probably $30 each. Okay. If you are in Pennsylvania, these leads have often cost $22 each. Utah, $17. I don't know where you guys are sitting. There's a bunch of people on the call. You're in different parts of the country. You have different costs. It's just how it is. If any of you are sitting in Vancouver, in Canada, in British Columbia, you might already know this, but these leads from this kind of ad cost $200 to $300 each, right? Not 25 and not 17, $200 to $300 each. So to compete on Google in Vancouver, it's dominated by the biggest real estate teams. They're making a lot of money from these kinds of leads, and they're paying a lot of money and dominating Google. If you're a young agent or a new agent in Vancouver, You don't compete on Google. You compete on Facebook until you can afford to compete on Google. That's a bit of the reality there. Like I said earlier, I would recommend that all of you start with Facebook and get buyer leads and seller leads from Facebook. And then when you get that budget going and you've got a stable revenue stream, you might want to add Google to that business. Now, to your business, to your strategy. I will tell you this. I'm going to go back to our YouTube channel. We talk about, I do a class that's called Top Tools for More Listings. You should all be watching that if you want more listings. Google is part of that, right? But there are other ways. Here it is right here, 2 weeks ago, Top Tools for More Listings. There are other ways of getting listings that have nothing to do with Google or Facebook, and they're actually super high quality leads. Okay. So if you want to do that, I'm just giving you that as an aside, that there are a lot of ways to get listing leads, and you need to use as many as you can to increase that part of your business. So that's the story for me today, guys. That's Facebook and that's Google. I didn't go down the second path, but let's do a PDF guide. So remember, we have 80 PDF guides. They're all 5 or 6 pages long, and you are branded on every page of every one of these guides. So you can run an ad and it's going to be great for your branding, but people have to give you their contact information, right? Let's do this. I saw one earlier on divorce. Oh, we got one there. Airbnb pros and cons, right? You want to put that out there, right? You can do that. You can see that. So but there's one on divorce, right? And I want to give you just a little bit of more nuance to understand what's going on. So let's say we're talking about Miami. Maybe somebody in Miami is thinking of getting a divorce, but when they go to the internet, they're actually not even thinking about the real estate. They might just say divorce attorney, but because that word is in there, your ad could have some likelihood of showing up. And if it does show up and they're looking for an attorney, they might go, oh my God, I definitely got to think about real estate. And the reason why I'm telling you this one, I think the average length of a home ownership in the United States is 7 or 8 years. And oddly enough, that is the same average of the length of American marriages. You might want to be running these every once in a while, as well as any of the other 80 PDF guides. Okay. They're all branded to you. 40 of them are for buyers, 40 of them are for sellers. I do want to repeat this though. If you want buyers, the fastest, easiest way is running an ad on Facebook, right? With a property that's for sale. And some people will tell you, I don't know if it's exactly true, but if the home is an open house, those leads do better. Those ads do better than just list. Inventory in some parts of the country is really tight. It's hard to find a home. So people are still looking. They're still interested. Obviously, interest rates have a factor, but people still want to buy homes. So these ads and these leads are still very effective. Okay, everybody, that's my story. I hope this helped you. This call is being recorded. It will be on our YouTube channel either today or tomorrow. Don't forget to use the support page down here and ask people to get you into the mastermind group. Okay. If I don't see any questions, if you have any questions, I'll hang out for a couple seconds and answer anything you need help on. But I don't see anything. So thanks for joining me today, and get on our YouTube channel, understand what you have available to you now in listings to leads, and leverage it, use it, grow your business. Thanks, everybody.